Greetings, my name is Rudimentary Rob. Welcome back to my Valheim series. Today we're here to, we're going to do some more mining today. As you can see, we're arriving back at the fort which we cleared last episode. We did quite well out of it in terms of loot, but earlier in a previous episode we did actually locate not one, but two Flametal spires not far from that second fort. So our goal today is to get set up and see just how much Flametal we can find ourselves out of those two spires. So strap yourself in, pop on your favourite mining in Ashlands gear, and we will get this show on the road. Now, we are sporting some upgrades here, thanks mostly to the Flametal we acquired from that fort. We made ourselves a Ripper, which is the Ashlands upgraded crossbow. We made ourselves a Mace. Now, this one does not proc spirit or frost damage. It does instead proc lightning damage. Which is a little bit of a different effect. Overall, it does do a little bit more damage than what Frostner was doing, but we haven't actually upgraded it yet. To make this mace, you have to make the base Flametal mace, but then you use that to craft this mace, and I for some reason have completely forgotten the name of it, but I'll post that over the video so you can look it up if you want to. For the moment we've only got it at level 1 because we basically ran out of mats, but even at level 1 it is hitting very well, so we're already enjoying that upgrade. We do, of course, have our cloak and our shield from prior upgrades. So we are gradually improving our gear, and through these incremental upgrades we are finding our journey in Ashlands to be just a little bit easier each time. As we build up our little base camp here, inevitably you do attract a few extra critters here and there. Definitely worth dispensing with those. The other thing that we're going to make an effort to remove is any of the summoning pillars that are in the area. Now, there doesn't appear to be any on this side, however I can see at least one in the distance there, and that is close enough that it will start spamming chard at us once we start mining. So our efforts now are going to be focused on removing any possible source of additional chard. It's worth noting that this Ripper does not come with very much durability compared to some of its predecessors. So As you can see, I haven't really been using it very much this episode at all, and I've almost worn it out. So, yeah, there's going to be a few short trips back to base to get that repaired to keep it working. But, you know, we'll do that as we need to. In the meantime, we're back to, you know, murdering locals to try and meet our work health safety requirement of trying not to be attacked in the middle of our mining exercise. Ah, indeed, there is another pillar over here, so it's just as well I came over instead of just relying on destroying that one from a distance. So I may have saved myself quite a bit of pain and suffering by spotting that one. So we're going to knock out both of these while we're over here. Alright, one down, one to go. Yes, I can hear that sound of choppy choppy. Sounds like somebody's having a bit of a chew on our setup over there, and sure enough, there they are. Now, minor observation from this part of the episode, I really should be waiting another half a second or a second before I start my jump. Yeah, just sort of keep that thought rolling around in the back of your mind. Alright, now that we've dispensed with the usual array of locals, we've got our initial portal down. We're going to be using the stone portal that's in the fort to actually teleport stuff back to base. But the handy non-metal usable portal, we're using that to help relay the ingredients down there for anything else we need, as well as giving us a way of getting back to base for repairs and things of that nature. And, you know, it's a convenient way to get back should the worst happen. Now, I don't know if you saw, there's a lot of flappy in the distance there, and that's another fallen Valkyrie, and believe it or not, I reckon that's close enough that we would aggro her if we were to start mining. So I'm going out here just to clear this last potential problem, because the fallen Valkyries, they've got a lot of knockback attacks, and they do hit very, very, very hard. So we don't want to be, you know, attacked by one of those. But as it turned out, it seemed to be a bit of a ghost. I kept running up to it and, you know, shooting it, and nothing was happening. So anyway, here's our little mining checklist. So we've cleared our surrounding area. We've got our feather cape, we've got a fire resistance mead, and we're already using our best food. We brought plenty of basalt bombs for getting around. We just switched over to the Queen's buff. You know, we've got our lingering stamina mead available. I think we're in a bit better position than we were last time. Let's see how much success we get. Alright, that loud crack, that's your first warning that the spire is about to start sinking. We will get one further warning. Alright, now we're on borrowed time. So I take this moment to throw out another basalt bomb to give us something to jump to once the lava gets too high. Don't mind that bit of uncoordinated hammering of the ground. I fumbled the wrong button and I got the door knocker instead of the pickaxe. Honestly, I don't think it's really cost us very much, so I think that spire we actually did pretty well. That was around about what I was expecting in terms of how long it was going to be before it was going to start sinking. Now, it doesn't matter how much prep you do in terms of clearing critters, you will always get one or two extras showing up. It's just a matter of the more you clear, the less you've got to deal with during your mining process or immediately after it. Now, we do have the tail end of our Queen's buff, lingering stamina mead, and, you know, everything else that we've got going on at the moment. I'm kind of keen to get over to that second spire and get mining underway so we don't have to wait a whole, you know, Valheim day for stuff to reset. And because everything's already cleared out, we shouldn't have as much problems with the second one. So we're now going to make our journey over the lava. And, yeah. Actually, before we do that, we're going to gather the Flametal that we weren't able to pick up while we're on the spire. I wouldn't trust to leave that out on the lava for an extended period. I haven't done any experiments in that regard, but I'd be worried about it disappearing or potentially, you know, sinking. I don't know if there's anything official in terms of that happening or not, but considering the effort we have to go to get some Flametal, I don't really want to lose any. Alright, I want to get you to leave a comment down below on just how much time do you think we're going to get with mining this spire? Yeah. I wouldn't bet the sheep station on any of your guesses, but yeah, give it a go. How long do you think we're going to get? We seem to be off to a fairly good start. I am making a concerted effort to be a bit more methodical with mining this one, and definitely trying to be a lot less uncoordinated. I seem to be succeeding fairly well with that as too. I was quite amazed at this point that I hadn't heard any cracks or crunches yet. I thought maybe I'd missed one, but then I spent the time, you know, hurling crossbow bolts there and it hasn't sunk, it hasn't done anything, it hasn't made any noises. So, did anyone bet that I was going to be able to mine the whole thing without it sinking? No? Yeah, I wouldn't have made that bet either. But that's what happened. I've mined out the entire spire, and at no stage did it make the sinky noise, and it didn't sink. And to date, it's still there. So, apparently, somebody in Ashlands must like me. Not quite sure why, but, you know, we've got to take what we can get. Alright, well we have now successfully mined everything off the spire, and rather than taking a hint and running back to base, I engaged in a slightly dangerous battle of, you know, are you going to blow me up with that lava blob? Luckily, it ended fairly well, but anyone paying close attention at home will notice that the fire resistance meat has already worn off, and I'm still wearing my feather cape, which means I am very weak to fire right now. Just let that sink in for a moment. So far so good. Just taking this opportunity to get the old shield generator back up and running. It will run on any kind of bone. Most of the time I run it on bone fragments, but it will equally run on the charred bone from Ashlands. And yeah, this is why we shouldn't reuse our basalt bombs. Even if you think you've timed it well, there's a fairly high chance you are going to cook your noodle. Now, some of the sort of gathered and thrown down Flametal, I have a feeling some of it may have sunk, so I may have lost a little bit here. And this is about where panic set in. And we all know panic's not a great idea because it makes us do stupid stuff like that. But I knew that hanging around while that... yeah, that's pretty much what was going to happen. The Askvin sort of forced my hand a little bit, but honestly, I should have been way more confident with the basalt bomb and not tried to throw it so far. Anyway, we've managed to get back, and we have scorched the soles of our feet a little bit, but we've managed to get all of our gear back. We're going to get all dressed up, and then we're going to finish our gathering of the Flametal. And then we're going to take it back to base and see exactly what we can do with it. Alright, and our total Flametal count, we got 123 Flametal from the combined yield of those two spires. So there's definitely a bit of good Flametal out there. We just hadn't been particularly lucky prior to this discovery with getting very much of it. But luckily, we got those two spires and that fort. So that has very, very, very much improved our ability to get some upgrades. Now, I have spared you the time it took to smelt all of that Flametal. We used basically all of it. We've only got 3 bars left. What we ended up doing is we ended up making the Flametal helm, chest piece, and pants, and we ended up making those up to level 3, which is the maximum that we can do. Now, I'm just showing a bit of a before and after in terms of the upgraded carapace versus the Flametal. On a piece-by-piece basis, we've ended up with about 4 extra armor per piece. So we've got 12 extra armor overall there. Plus, of course, we made the cloak that gives us an extra 16 armor. So armor-wise, we're pretty much done with our upgrades. But we still need more Flametals so we can upgrade our weapon. But we need some other components as well. So we're actually going to be shopping around for a fort to raid. So leave a comment down below if you'd prefer to see that done again as a mage, or if you want to see me do it as a melee. In the meantime, we're looking pretty damn sexy, and we've reached the end of the episode. I want to thank you for watching. If you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe and to hit the notification bell. And until next time, my name is Rudimentary Rob. Have yourself a fantastic day.